Good morning. I hope you're well. It's Feel Good Friday, and I've mixed it up again this week for a couple of different reasons. And as promised, I'm wearing my new t-shirt, Talk to Plants, which I bought at Port Douglas Markets, and I absolutely love it. 100% cotton, made by a beautiful lady, so I wanted to share this gorgeous t-shirt on Feel Good Friday. But today I'm also going to share my top 5 tips for managing stress. And why am I going to do that and why am I on live today is it could have been a relatively, incredibly stressful week. But I want to share with you what I have done throughout this week to manage my stress, to keep calm, to keep in flow state, and to keep things moving forward despite obstacles and challenges that have cropped up. And indeed to keep myself feeling good by Friday morning. So essentially this week, I think the whole entire world woke up, came out of their dormant sleeping pattern and decided that they wanted everything and need everything now. So in a few instances, so my projects from my international projects and my UK projects have ramped up a lot. And that all just came about quite quickly late last week and early this week. Several clients wanting meetings and quotes and planning for 2021 now. So that all kind of came out of the blue a little bit. My book, The Koala Who Lost His Heart, was going to print this week, and we've signed off the proofs last night, so hopefully they're pressing go on a print run today. I had 2 podcast interviews this week, both yesterday. I've been finalising the planning for my Women's Wellness Retreat, which happens next weekend, 23rd to 25th of October at Mission Beach Eco Village. I've got a full day of events this Sunday for the final day of World Mental Health Week down in the Burdekin. I'll be in Ayr at Plantation Markets on Sunday morning for the Wellness Expo, followed by a Women's Wellness Reset Workshop at Curves Fitness in Ayr on Sunday afternoon. I have a toddler who's not really sleeping at the moment, and a 6-year-old who needs to kind of get a little bit on track with reading so that she makes it up to good standard by the end of this year. And trying to teach a 6-year-old to read when a toddler keeps interrupting or wants to be involved is a little bit challenging sometimes. So it's managing those two things together. And on top of all of that, my dad was admitted to hospital on Wednesday, and he's there at the moment waiting for a pacemaker. So I have been visiting him as much as I can and supporting my mum with all the stuff that needs to be done to help him. So all of those things combined could have become very stressful at certain times. But what I have endeavoured to do is to lean on my sustainers, focus on my mindset, focus on my management of my stress responses, and to think about, what is it that I need to prioritise and to do to keep moving forward without allowing all of the added pressures to get on top of me. So I'm going to share with you now my top 5 tips for managing stress, and I hope that you find them helpful and you can indeed start to implement them in your life, because what I've just described is a typical week for most people. When you've got small children, you're working. I've been working quite late at night. Last night I worked till 11 p.m. I did get up this morning and go for my 5k run, so I've done 3 5k runs this week and a hill hike on top of my work. So essentially what I'm doing is leaning on my sustaining activities, things that sustain me, my self-care habits and rituals, which are enabling me to kind of keep things moving forward. But without further ado, here is my top 5 tips for managing stress. So the first thing to do is to prioritize. So throughout the course of this week, on a daily basis, I've had to reprioritize what I'm doing, what I wanted to achieve, and what is realistic expectation to kind of get done in the time that I have available. So constantly going through that reprioritizing process. So I had a plan at the end of last week, at the beginning of the week, and throughout the course of this week I've had to adjust that several times. So I've continually looked at what my priorities are, what's most urgent, what is most necessary, what are the needs of the people right in front of me, i.e. my children and myself and my family, and versus how can I manage expectations further afield. So how can I manage the expectations of my clients, my colleagues, and indeed myself, because I have very high expectations of myself. So I'm continually trying to prioritize and manage expectations. In terms of mindset, so this is really important, because when we have a mindset that dictates how we respond to things, it might be that we are being asked to do more and more and more, or more and more things are coming onto our plate, and we become very quickly overwhelmed. So we want to limit the feeling of becoming overwhelmed, because once we feel overwhelmed, our stress response starts to kick in. So what I do is I say to myself, I have all the skills and abilities to do this task. I have abundant of time to achieve all that I need to achieve, and I know that I'm capable of doing this. I'm going to look at this as a challenge that I need to solve today, and I'm going to prioritize and give my best to this task at this particular moment. So then I'm kind of filtering out all of the other noise in my head and keeping my mindset quite focused on the fact that I do have a lot of things to do. I do have a task that's quite time consuming or challenging to achieve, but if I give it my mental focus and energy and know that I'll do it to the best of my ability, and my skills and abilities are at a level that I can do this task, then I will keep my mindset positive about it, as opposed to getting dragged down into the negative. So this is too hard, I don't have time, I can't do this, why am I being asked to do this, and so on and so forth. So just keeping the mindset side of things really positive prevents the overwhelm and stress response from starting to build up in the body, because once you've turned on your stress response, you need to then kind of go through a process of turn it on, because we have a physiological response to stress as well as an emotional and a behavioral response to stress. So it's kind of important to understand that. So number 3 is exercise. So I've made sure that I've kept up my exercise this week for a couple of reasons. When I exercise, I pump oxygen and blood all over my body, so it allows me to kind of defrag all of the toxins and mental and emotional energy that's built up in my body, because I'm flooding my body with new nutrients, new blood around, and as well as keeping that oxygen flowing. And I find that I keep in flow state, which is that optimal state of productivity, when I am exercising. So rather than thinking, oh well, I worked really late last night, so I'll sleep a bit longer this morning, or I don't have time to exercise today, I make sure that actually I prioritize the exercise, because that's actually going to have a better impact and benefit on my body kind of going forward. So on Monday I did the hill hike. On Tuesday I went for a run at lunchtime in the middle of the day. Thursday morning I got up at 5:45 and went for a run, and today I got up at 6:30 and went for a run, each time 5.5K. So that's kind of kept me kind of going and feeling good about myself, and keeping my energy level actually much higher in the daytime, because it's very easy to kind of get into that mental slump where we're mentally fatigued. The difference between mental fatigue and physical fatigue is physical fatigue can help overcome, physical activity can help overcome mental fatigue. So if you're starting to feel sluggish and tired and brain drained and fed up, actually getting out and going for a walk or a run, or spending a bit of time jumping around in the garden, will actually help stimulate you. The other thing that I should say is that when we are stressed, we are 40% less intelligent. So we're 40% dumber when we're stressed, which is interesting, isn't it? Because if you think, well, I've got a very stressful week, I've got a lot of things I need to achieve, why do I want to be 40% less intelligent? So knowing that I want to be performing at an optimal level, optimal intelligence level, optimal productivity level, able to solve problems, able to find solutions and to think creatively and to look at the bigger picture, I don't want to be 40% less intelligent. So it's making sure I'm aware of that as well. And number 4, so I've dialed up my nutrition and supplements and herbal teas this week. So nutrition is more plant-based foods, so tricolor quinoa, edamame beans, goji berries, superfoods that are nourishing my body throughout the day. less carbohydrates, and less kind of meat, a bit of meat each day, but not too much. So just really making sure that my intake of plants throughout the day is really high, because that gives me a lot more energy, clarity of thought, and it's not tiring on your body to go into digestion. Supplements, so vitamin C, glucosamine, turmeric, magnesium, and probiotics, because probiotics are very good for our gut health. Now, we know that gut health is linked to mental health. So if I want to have optimal mental health in Mental Health Week, when I've got an extremely busy week, ensuring that my gut health is being taken care of is really important. So, plant-based foods, coconut, yogurt, which is a good probiotic, as well as a probiotic supplement, have really helped me. And in terms of herbal tea, so I drink immunity to keep my immune system functioning well, mental focus tea, which is good for the brain, and cardio tea with hawthorn berry, which keeps my heart pumping well, which is good for when you're exercising, etc. So those are some teas that I use on a regular basis, rather than rely on coffee and normal tea to kind of sustain me throughout the day, especially into the evening. So, last night was a classic case where I was almost willing my toddler to go to sleep, trying to get her into bed and to calm her down and to get her to fall asleep so I could come back upstairs and carry on with my work. But as usual, when you want a child to do something, they're not compliant. So it's very interesting when you are, rather than get anxious and stressed, I made myself be calm, think loving thoughts about her, send her loving energy, and to pat her and to keep my vibrational energy around love, as opposed to stress and tension and anxiety, because when I'm projecting love, she'll settle and become much quickly. As I wrote in the article for Connect magazine last week, you can influence those around you within 3 feet with your energetic energetic flow and vibration. So I was really conscious that I needed her to be calm and to go to sleep so I could come and do things, but the best way to do that was to not be stressed and to give her my loving vibrations and energy. So number 5 brings me on nicely to number 5. So breathing is so important. Now, when we start to become stressed, we tend to do shallow breathing, or we hold our breath, and that I have learnt over a long period of time is very damaging to our health, and I used to do that consistently. So now I reach down, I grab my solar plexus and I pull it up, and I say reach for your breath, and I reach down, I pull it up, I reach down, I pull it up. So that deep breathing does several things. It helps stimulate my vagus nerve, which is the longest nerve within your body. It runs from your brain to many organs, so you can keep pumping oxygen around your organs. The other thing about the vagus nerve is that it's also about a frequency. So as long as you're doing that deep breathing, it's a rest and digestion nerve. So it helps calm our physiological response to stress if we're doing that deep breathing and keeping the vibrational energy of that vagus nerve quite high. And we have a lot of lymph nodes in around our stomach, just at the bottom of my cactus plant here. So if we keep breathing deeply into our stomach, we're going to ensure that we're stimulating all of those lymph nodes around our stomach, which is also going to help us with removing toxins and promoting good health by building new white blood cells and so on and so forth. So stretching, so I've made sure I've done my stretching each day, generally 20 minutes after my run and before I go to bed in the evening. So I sit down on the floor, do 10 to 20 minutes of stretching, followed by meditation, deep breathing. And throughout the day, I use affirmations and thymus tapping. So our thymus gland is here in our chest, just under our breastbone, or our sternum, as it's technically called. And you can tap it. Now what this does is it stimulates production of white blood cells, also helps with the stimulation of the vagus nerves, and it's very calming. So it's quite good if you're sitting in traffic after the school run, or you're sitting at your desk and you can't think clearly. Give your thymus, you just need to do it 20 to 30 seconds at a time, and it's very calming and very helpful for our stress response. And then I have a couple of affirmations that I use. So if I start to feel stress, I say to myself, I'm safe. You are safe. I'm safe. May I be safe, may I be happy, may I be calm, may I live with ease. And those little affirmations help turn back or switch off the stress response if I'm using them consistently throughout the day. So I might say them to myself in the morning: may I be safe, may I be happy, may I be calm, may I live with ease. And then I'll say them again throughout the day to myself. Now yours might be different. Yours might be, I can do this, you have got this. This thing like saying don't worry, be calm, like those are kind of telling yourself something, but then an objection will rise up within you. So may I be safe, may I be happy. Use I am statements. I am calm, I am happy, I am safe, I am well, I am peaceful, I am serene, I have harmony. Use those statements. And then another one, which is a little bit kooky, and might be a bit too kooky for you, but it's about chanting. So the good thing about chanting is it does impact the vibrational frequency of our body and really helps calm that vagus nerve. So a bit of Om chanting, or if you're alone in the car and you want to do a bit of screaming, do that. Do whatever you need to kind of get the vibrational energy flowing at a higher frequency throughout your body. So those are my top 5 tips for managing a stressful week. I could have had a stressful week, but it is Friday. I'm feeling really good. I'm talking to plants, and I'm looking forward to spending Sunday down in the Burdekin and next week's retreat. So for the next 4 hours, I'm going to smash out some work and then go and sit with my dad in the hospital. So I hope you have a great weekend and look forward to seeing you soon. And just remember that you can manage your stress, and it will help you not just for today, but in the long term to maintain health and well-being. I'm Chrissy Regan. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye.